Hello friend, this is your 10-liter vacuum emulsifying mixer. Now I will introduce this machine and test this machine to you. And you may check here, we have already put our CE sticker here and the logo here. Later we will install our nameplate here. And when you first receive the machine, you need to connect to your factory power here. Let's check the electric components inside. Here is the Siemens and the Schneider components here. And this is Siemens brand inventory. And here you may see the wires. Here you have to connect the L1, L2, L3 wire, the neutral wire, and the yellow and green ground wire here to connect to your factory power. And other wires, we have also marked the numbers on it. You may check. Okay, you may check here. We have the main power. If you have already connected to your factory power, you can spin this main power to start the machine. And then this is the indicator light. And you can see this one is the Siemens control panel. You can control the whole machine through this panel. And then this is the emergency stop button. If anything problems have occurred, you can just push this emergency stop button to stop the whole machine. And then this is the lighting. You can turn on the light or turn off it. You can spin it. And then let's check the cover accessories. Here we have the vacuum pressure gauge. You may check the digital number through this gauge. And then this one is the vacuum valve. When you need to use the vacuum function, you can use this valve. And then this one is the wheel window. You can just spin this wheel window to check clearly inside of the tank. And then for this one, you can see this is the transparent pipe. Here we equip you. This transparent pipe, you can suck the materials from the other tanks. See here, this is the whole transparent pipe we equipped to you. And this one is the ingredient hopper. If you need to add some ingredients, you can through this hopper. Just turn on this valve and let the ingredients inside. And this one is the breathing pods. If you don't need use the vacuum function, you can open this valve to let the vacuum released. And this is the lighting. You can control the lighting through the control panel. And this one is the alarm. It will make some noises when you use the hydraulic up and hydraulic down function. Okay, let's check the back side of the tank. Here you may see the 3 kilowatt heating rod is contained in this box. And then this one is the water outlet. This one is the water inlet. And then here you may see this is the homogenizer. We use the ABB brand, and this you can see here we have the water outlet and water inlet. Okay, for these two parts, water inlet and water outlet, if you have already connected to your factory power, you should also connect to your water. So these parts we will equip to you, and this pipe we will also equip to you. And for this valve, we should let the water inside to the tank, so this valve should be open all the time. And then you may check the homogenizer. Here we also have the blue pipe. These two blue pipes will cooling down the homogenizer when the homogenizer is working. Otherwise, the homogenizer will be damaged. Also, the vacuum pump will be also need water, so you should make sure that this valve is open all the time. Okay, now I will tell you how to use the electric heating. This one is the water inlet and this one is the water outlet. So first step, you should turn on this valve, let the water inside to the jacket. And then when the water is come out through here, it means that the jacket is full of water. So you can turn off this valve. So you can use the electric heating function. Also for this part, you can connect to a pipe. We will also equip a pipe to you for here. Okay, so now we check the PLC screen. Here we have choose the language. You can choose English, and then you can switch the language for here, Chinese, English. Okay, now you can see it's English part. And then for the mixer, we have the speed setting. You can set the speed here, like 65 maximum for the mixer. And then we have the actual speed, actual currents. It will show to you when it's working. And then you have the time setting here, like set 2 minutes, for example. And then it will show you the remaining time when it's working. And then for the on and off is the turn on and turn off this function. The homogenizer is the same. You can set the maximum speed like 3000, for example. And then actual speed, actual currents, and the time setting, you can also set like 1 minute for reference. And then this on and off is also turn on and turn off the function. And then you can see this part is for the heating part. This one is shows the actual temperature for reference, and this heating temperature, you can set your wanted degree, and you can set like 60, for example. And then this one is the temperature calibration. If you find the speed is not so matched through the temperature probe, you can adjust the temperature through the temperature calibration here. And this is the heating function, turn on and turn off. And for this part, you can see it's for the vacuum part. Now the actual pressure show you is minus 0.2 kPa. And then you can set the pressure up limit and pressure lower limit here. Now you set minus 85, for example, and the lower limit line 60. Okay, now have to set the vacuum pressure, and then this for the vacuum pump starts and stop. Also, you may check here is the diagram for the whole mixer. You can see the light is green. Now this one it will working after you operate the machine, and this is the dump and reset. It means that the tank will tilting. This tank will tilting. And reset, it means that the tank is reset to the original place, like now. And this next one is the hydraulic up and hydraulic down, start and stop. Okay, now we see the temperature trend. This is the temperature trend. You can track the temperature here. You can see now the green light here. And the main port temperature, you can track this curve. You can also use this button to check the temperature. And then you can see here is the alarm inquiries. Now you can see here we have the alarm inquiries. It will show you the date, time, status, and alarm test will show you where the machine is going wrong. So if you have find out the alarm inquiry and then you have set the machine okay, and then you can push the reset button to reset the whole machine, and then you can continue to use the machine. Okay, let's go back to the home page. Okay, now we can test the whole machine. You can choose the language here, and then you may see the vacuum function. We have already set the pressure up limit to minus 85, the pressure lower limit minus 60 kPa. So we can directly use the vacuum function, but first you should make sure that all the other valves except this valve are turned off. So let's check here, turn off, and this will also turn off, and the tank is hydraulic directly down. And then let's turn on this vacuum valve, and then turn on this vacuum function on the panel. And then you may check the pressure now is changing on the pressure gauge. Also, you may check the actual pressure through the PLC panel. Okay, when it is arrived to -80, you can push the stop and then turn off this vacuum valve. Let this vacuum pressure stay in what you want. For example, like -80.9 kPa. Now this vacuum pressure will remain in -80, the pressure you want. And now we have already turned off the vacuum function, so let's test the release function of the breathing pods. You should make sure that all the other valves are turned off. Here you may check, and then you can turn on this vacuum release vacuum valve, and you can hear the sound. And now this vacuum has been released, and then you can turn off the breathing pods valve. And let's keep testing the vacuum function. Now you can see the vacuum function is working. It's also go to the upper limit like -80, and then it will go down. If the vacuum pressure go down to the pressure lower limits, you set like -60 kPa. This vacuum function, if you don't turn off it, right now, this vacuum function will restart again when these pressure lower limits become to the -60 kPa. So what I mean is that if you don't turn off the vacuum function here and here, this vacuum function will restart when the pressure lower limits become like -60 kPa reset. Now let's test it. And now you can hear the sound like the vacuum function is restart again. Okay, now it stopped again. Okay, next we can test the missing function. Like we have already set the speed and set the time here. Now let's test it, turn on it, and then you should confirm whether it's safe around the main tank here. Make sure it is safe. And then push the yes. And then you may see this diagram is working, and the actual speed and actual current is also changing. And let's check inside. Okay, let's keep testing the machine. Now we test the missing function. We have already set the speed and set the time here, so let's continue turn on it. But you should confirm whether it's safe around the main tank. Then push yes. And then you may see the actual speed here, the actual current here, and this diagram is also working. And so you can use this scraper to spin it. And then you can check inside. And you can see now the actual speed is 65. Okay, and you can see the remaining time is also 2 minutes. Now it's become 1 minute. If the remaining time becomes 0, that means if the time is arrived to 2 minutes, like what we said, the missing function will stop automatically. Now we can stop it manually, like here. Okay, now the missing function is stopped, and you can see this one is changing. So you may see through here, now the missing function is stopped. Okay, next we can test the heating function. Like here, the heating temperature we set like 60 degrees Celsius. The actual one is 25.4 degrees Celsius. So if you want to set the heating temperature, make sure that the heating temperature you set is larger than the actual temperature. So let's turn on it. But before turn on it, you should make sure that this jacket is full of water. That means that you should make sure that the water comes out from here, that the jacket is full of water, so you can use the heating function. Like here, now our engineer have already let the water inside the jacket, so let's turn on this. You can see the sound. Here, you can see now the heating function is working now. So the temperature will go up, and now is 25.4. It will go up, but it will take some time, so we will not directly test it. So you can turn off it, and also you can hear the sound. Now the heating function is turned off, and then for the heating temperature is also the same like missing and homogenizing function. When the actual temperature is arrived to what we set, like we set now is 60 degrees Celsius. When the actual temperature is arrived to 60 degrees Celsius, the heating function will stop automatically. Okay, now let's test the hydraulic up function. Turn on this start. Make sure that this stays around the main tank. And then turn on yes. And then now the machine is hydraulic up. Okay, now it's hydraulic up to the top, and let's check the missing pedal. And the main tank. And this one is the homogenizer. Okay, let's test the turbo homogenizing function. Like we set the speed 3000 RPM, the time 1 minute. Make sure that this tank is safe, and then you can use the homogenizing function. Turn on it. Okay, now you can see the homogenizing is working, and the actual speed, actual current is changing. So you can see now the actual speed is 3000. And it's the same like the missing function. When the time is arrived to what we said, the homogenizing function will stop automatically. Okay, now you can see the homogenizing function is stopped automatically. Okay, let's test the dumping function and the reset function. You should keep pressing the dumping function so the tank will be tilting. And then you should keep pressing the reset function so the tank will become to the original place. And then you may check here we have these parts. You can turn on, pull out these parts, and then you can, when the tank is tilting down, you can have a tank here to collect your materials. And let's check the hydraulic down function. Here, push the start, and then you should make sure that is safe around the main tank. And then you should keep pressing the yes, so the tank will be hydraulic down. Like here, now the tank is hydraulic down, and when you don't press it, it will stop. Like here, now this is stop. And you should keep pressing the yes. Okay, now the tank is completely hydraulic down. And then when you want to exit out this page, press no. Okay. This is the end of 10-liter vacuum emulsifying mixer introduction. Thank you.